Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready for the big secret to multitasking? I'm not going to tell you. Now, of course, I'm going to tell you. What kind of guy would I be? What kind of guy would I be? I would be Fred Moore, time management expert and bald guy. Yes, of course, I'm going to tell you the big secret to multitasking. But before we get to that, do me a favor. You made it this far in the video, hit that like button. Share this video with some of your friends after the video's done, of course, and comment. Let me know some of your ideas, some of your thoughts about what I'm talking about here today, because I'm talking about the big secret to multitasking. Are you ready? The big secret to multitasking is it doesn't work. It does not work. Dun, dun, dun. Wah, 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 wah. The big secret is it doesn't work. There is no such thing as multitasking. You cannot do two completely different things at the same time. Your brain doesn't work that way. Your brain does not function in that way. Now, there's a caveat. Sometimes it does. I'll get to that in a second here. But what I'm talking about is the fact that when you are multitasking, when you think you're doing 2 or 3 different things at the same time, you're not really. What you're doing is your brain is just switching from one task to another rapidly. I mean, our brains are amazing. They work at like 1,000,000 miles an hour. That's not a scientific statement right there. It's just, our brains are like supercomputers. They can work really, really fast. Seems like that sometimes we can't, right? I need coffee. I'm slow. But your brain does not multitask. It switches from one task to another and then back. And when it switches back and forth, it's not fully focused on one task. It's over there, and it's like that old squirrel. It's focused on too many different things. It can't focus on more than one thing. It keeps switching back and forth, and it's kind of like, I talked about this in earlier videos, kind of like those interruptions throughout your day. When you're working on something and you're interrupted by an outside force, then it's hard to get back to what you were doing. So when you're multitasking, when you're switching from one task to another, it's the same way. The things that you're working on, the quality of the work that's going into them is not there. Sucks, kind of. Actually, if I want to speak frankly, can I say that word? I'm sorry. Can I say that? Am I allowed? Okay, thank you. There's nobody over there. I don't know. But the quality of that work is it just goes down. If you want to get good quality work, and if you want to be more productive with your time, instead of multitasking and switching, focus on just the one thing. Do one thing, right? And set a timer. Again, in one of my other videos, I talked about this. Set a timer to work on that one thing. All right, if you set this, all right, I'm going to work on these 3 things this hour. We'll set 20 minutes for each of those one things. And stop jumping back and forth between them. Focus on one thing. You're going to get better quality work. The output is going to be better. You're going to actually maybe get it done, right? And your brain won't be as fogged. It won't be as like, Now, I did say that sometimes it does work. What am I talking about? Well, if the 2 things are unrelated activities, then sometimes multitasking can work. What am I talking about? Well, have you ever folded laundry and watched TV at the same time? You don't sit there and okay, you're watching the TV, pause the TV. All right, fold the shirt. Okay, now go back to the TV. All right, and then fold the shirt. And you're folding the shirt or picking up the laundry, and you're listening and you're watching, and you're kind of like, that kind of thing works. If you're working out, if you're exercising and you're listening to a podcast, then that kind of multitasking can work. If you're driving your car and listening to an audio book or a podcast, or listen to me blather on about blah, 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 blah while you're driving, Don't watch the video on this. Just listen to it. Okay, you're driving, young man, young lady. Stop it. Stop it right now. I mean, don't stop. Keep going. But that kind of activity, then multitasking will work. Why? Well, because you're using different parts of your brain for that. The part of your brain that needs to move your body to exercise is the different part of the brain that's listening and getting that input and processing that information. Now, truthfully, if it's something really important in the podcast or whatever you're listening to, if it's really, really important and you really, really need to learn it, then you probably should do nothing else but that. Again, focus on that one thing, listening, learning that content. But if it's just some information that you want to, maybe it's an audiobook of yours truly, yeah, then of course, by all means, exercise, drive, listen to it. You're going to use your time better by multitasking in that way. But stop wasting time on trying to do three different things all at the same time and think that you're saving all this time and being more productive. You're just not doing that. Speaking of time, get some of your time back. 5hoursback.com. Check it out. Video PDF that's going to teach you some things you can do to get at least 5 hours back in your work week. Probably more than 5 hours. You're welcome. All right, go, do, be, have fun, and we'll see you next time.